From the Green Room Studios at Bates Nursery in Nashville, Tennessee, it's Gardening Inside Out, a podcast with highlights from our Saturday morning live show, answering all your gardening questions, giving you plant advice for any space in your life. Let's start the show.
Well, hey, everybody. It's Caroline Gant.
Well, hey, everybody. It's Austin Lowen.
Tyler Blankenship here. What's up?
Hey.
Oh, cool.
How we doing?
Good to see y'all.
It is. It's great to be
Unfortunately,
here.
we're the only people who can see each other right now.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
We should live stream this sometime.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We can
You mean
do that?
like
You know all of our
once
listeners
every
wanna
Saturday
hear-
morning?
Oh, you're right. We do live stream it.
Oh, yeah. That little show we do every week.
That little gardening show we do. If you're listening to the podcast right now and you don't know about it, you should check it out.
Yeah, you
can
at least
watch
get to
us.
see us.
Yeah. You can watch it live, ask questions, or stream it at a later date. YouTube, Vimeo, Facebook,
All those.
Gardening Inside Out.
Tyler just made a good point, and I think it's something we should mention. That yes, we are in Nashville, Tennessee. It's great, Music City. We are also in Zone 7B. Just so you know. We have a lot of questions about that. Like from people that watch out of state or whatever. Always asking, what zone are y'all in?
Where are you?
So just so you know, it's growing Zone 7B. Great spot to be.
I was about to say, that's
It's pretty good.
you know, down lower in lower Florida, that's zone 10. And then all the way up in what, Wisconsin, Minnesota, that's like zone 3, 4?
Maybe even less. I don't know. You're probably right. Probably about zone 3. You're right. I don't know other people's zones either.
No, I don't either.
So it makes sense that y'all wouldn't know ours. So there you go.
Yeah. And along the coast of the eastern United States, you know, that's very similar. I think southern New Jersey is like zone 7,
Yeah, it gets
which
weird.
is amazing.
It gets weird when you start throwing water into the mix. I've always noticed, like the coastline and stuff.
Yeah.
Things get weird.
Things get weird on the coastline.
You know, a lot of people think that like latitude lines are the way to go, like to know your zone or whatever. Not the case. I looked it up one time. Like our zone in Nashville, Tennessee, if you follow the latitude line, it is the same as like Los Angeles. We are nothing like Los Angeles people.
No.
It goes to show you that mountain ranges play a big role in climatic patterns.
There you go. All right, Tyler, you were saying something. You got to pat yourself on the back. Is that what I heard?
Yeah.
What'd you do? What'd you
did you do?
do?
I woke up early enough to water all of my plants in containers on my driveway.
Look at you.
Man, I
Yeah.
would never.
No, you wouldn't.
Uh-uh.
Now, are these containers of plants that you have not put in the ground yet, or just like potted up plants?
They're the ones I can't put in the ground or I will lose them over the winter.
So they're your tropical plants.
Yes.
Okay.
I have mandevilla,
So they are potted plants.
citrus, yes. Whatever terminology you want to use. And I also have my celebrity tomatoes in a container.
How are they doing? Have you gotten any tomatoes yet?
They're just, tomatoes in containers, I'm not a big fan. I mean, they're clean, they're upright, they have hardly grown at all. Like they're probably like maybe 3 feet tall max.
Wow.
They're still upright. They have not shot out any runners. And they have like 3 small green fruit on them.
At least they're clean. My tomatoes are wild.
They are clean. I feel like I need to fertilize at this point or something. But I thought I put new soil in whenever I potted them. But maybe they just haven't been getting enough water. So that's why I'm watering them in the morning.
That could be. I've harvested so many.
I harvested 6 yesterday. That was nice.
I harvested 4 yesterday. Big ones.
Cool. I'm going to keep looking at my little green balls.
We'll bring you some.
Hope they'll turn into tomatoes one day.
They will.
It'll happen.
And I've also been, and I know that y'all probably have something like this in your own gardens, but there's a spot or a plant or something, and you look at that, and inside your head, you're like, I'm going to water you. Or you look like you need something, little trimming, little watering, and you don't do it. And then you go inside and whatever, and then by 3 days have gone by.
Yeah. No.
And so you're like, you get this feeling like, if I don't do something, this plant's going to die.
You are literally looking at the king of that.
Yeah, I do that too.
I do that all the time. I got 3 trees right now that I know are going to be.
You have so many things that you need to do stuff with.
I look at the trees and I'm just like, Don't die on me, bro. Like, you're good. Like, come on.
It's survival of the fittest.
What
That's
if,
right.
What if he's not good?
Well, then he gets thrown in the woods.
Then he gets thrown in the woods. You know,
go ahead.
well, I was just going to say, I've been doing that with my houseplants. I walk past them that are all on my front porch and I say, you need to be fertilized, you need to be watered or repotted. And I did that last week. I repotted about 15 of my houseplants, fertilized them. Don't me. They look fantastic right now. They're so happy. And they were looking pretty bad. I pruned a lot of them.
That's like 5% of her collection.
Yeah. If you include my outdoor plants, it'd probably be like 1%.
Yeah, for real. Man, let's tell you this actually. I've had a, what's that black ZZ plant I've got? Raven? Yeah. Uh-huh. I've had it for, I don't know, a couple, 2 or 3 years now. And it was just in a plastic container. And one random day, I didn't even think about it. I put this plastic container inside of a ceramic container that was half filled with dirt. Okay. Walked away, didn't think anything about it. That ZZ plant straight up rooted into that bottom of that pot.
Oh.
And so it's kind of annoying. It's like, I went to just grab it not too long ago and pull it out and like set it somewhere else. And it would not give at all. And I'm like, oh man.
It's in there.
Now I've got a scenario. So I'm thinking I'm just going to take some scissors and just like cut the black nursery pot off of it.
While it's in that other pot?
While it's in the other container, cut it off, and then I'm just going to add dirt
How are you
right
gonna
onto
get the
it.
bottom off of it?
I'll
or are you
do
just
it.
going to leave it? Okay.
No, well, I probably actually could leave it.
You could. It'd be fine.
Yeah.
It's not going to do anything to
it.
the plant.
But man, that thing really rooted in.
Yeah.
It looks pretty good right now, too.
Listen, roots are crazy. And this time of year, I mean, I feel like a lot of us forget about our houseplants.
Definitely.
And I do. And I'm the houseplant person here at this nursery.
The thing is, I don't even really keep a lot of plants inside my house this time of year. They're really just outside plants
You have
now.
a dark house. Mm-hmm. You're so goth.
No, it's not like that at all. It's just dark.
He doesn't want to.
No. There's no light
He doesn't want anyone to
enters.
think he's a goth.
I'm a 35-year-old guy.
I love goth plants.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Yeah. Anyway, speaking of goth plants, how's your hydrangea, the dark one?
My eclipse hydrangea that you got me for my birthday. It is great. I actually was telling you earlier, but it's planted on the north side of my house where I've been starting this huge bed, and I'm just trying to get it all kind of landscaped in my own special way, the way I landscape. And I've been weed whacking the grass all the way down to the dirt, laying some paper that we get here at the nursery, and then I pine strawed around it. And it is popping right now. Nice. That's what I did yesterday on my day off. So my eclipse is looking great. It is a thirsty little creature.
Oh, yeah.
I only water it like once a week if we don't get rain. Sometimes twice a week when it's
pretty
really
good
hot.
for a hydrangea, really.
Yeah, it gets like an hour and a half of direct light in the morning, but it doesn't get that much direct sunlight. So it's doing good, but I've been cleaning up my beds and they are looking fantastic. Mm-hmm. Also, speaking of goth plants, just real fast, I want to talk about my black leaf coleus that looks like a shrub right now.
Mm-hmm. I saw it.
It's going to send Tyler a picture to put up on the show next week.
Late stage coleus.
It
so
is
big.
It's so big. It's so happy. It's so easy. I don't have to do anything but just kind of not deadhead it, but cut the blooms off so it stays more shrubby. And it's great. That dark black leaf. Everybody needs it.
Coleus was featured in a container from a viewer, Donna.
Donna.
Yeah.
Yep.
This past weekend, and unfortunately, in this podcast, you cannot see that. However, she had coleus in there, and she also had this fernleaf buckthorn in the back. Mm-hmm. Money power, I think, in Austin's terms.
I'm pretty sure I said that.
Yeah. It was just so good. And
it was.
And you can get a lot out of those coleus.
You can always see these pictures. I post them on our Instagram after the show, a couple days later before the podcast goes out. So if you didn't watch the show, you still don't miss out. You can see all those photos.
Speaking of coleus, save your money on those fancier flowers. Like coleus just start as a 4-pack, y'all. Like literally
Really?
a buck 99 for a 4-pack. Like
the goth one you have to go big.
I was about to say, how do you
4P.
get the special ones, though? Those are like...
You spend your money a little bit on the special ones, but if you just need filler material for a lot of places, I'm telling you, 4-packs are the way to go. They get to be shrubs if you start that size, or if you pay $5 for one and you start a little bit bigger going out. Now I know there's like 1,000 cultivars of coleus nowadays, any color of the rainbow. But for filler material, 4-pack coleus is so much bang for your buck.
Yeah.
It really is. It's the way to go.
I love coleus. And I get all kinds.
There's a number of plants like that. People want to overbuy. I'm just like, nah, don't do that.
Also, you can prop them. Michelle, who works seasonally back in our greenhouse, who's amazing. Love her. But she just props hers every year. She cuts it and she has a whole like window of props, so she never really has to buy it. Although I see her buy it every year because she probably buys more plants than I do.
She does buy a lot of plants. And yeah, it's so easy. Just cut off a little bit and throw it in some water and, in a water bottle or something. They'll root so quick.
And then you won't have spent any money the next year for your coleus.
Definitely a good way to save money. Propagation, people.
What are you doing in your beds right now?
Not a thing. It's August.
Oh.
Not a thing.
Silence.
You know what's funny? I think my middle daughter, my 6-year-old Marley, shout out. I think she may have gotten maybe a little bit of my jeans.
Your gardening jeans?
I know she's got a little bit of my jeans. But
your Levi's?
I caught her out there the other day with some hand pruners, and she was literally cutting the roses like kind of in half. And I'm like, and it's okay because honestly, the roses were leggy as could be. Hardly any leaves at the base. They're just at the tips. It's August for a rose, whatever. And she was like cutting them in half. She's like, Daddy, they're too long and too leggy, or said something like that. And I'm like, yeah, girl, take those roses. I don't care.
You judge them roses.
She took them right in half. She did good too. It was pretty uniform. I was proud of her.
Get it, Marley.
Good work.
I mean, with a dad like you who's into plants, how could you not have at least one
judgmental
that is
daughter
super into plants?
Yeah.
So that's what's happening at your house.
The thing
right
is, the judgment brings critique, brings a change, brings a beautiful looking plant.
now. Wow, Tyler.
That was
beautiful.
you gotta get over the hump sometimes. Like my butterfly bush looks so good now. It was a yellow one because the brown dead blooms that were just hanging on there were distracting from it.
Yeah.
And it didn't allow the yellow ones to like come up and flourish. And you can see
cut
it.
them off. Cut off the ugly. Cut out the ugly.
We had a big debate about that this last Saturday with hydrangeas, whether to cut them or keep them.
Y'all let us know.
Yeah, whatever you think.
I say keep them. I keep mine up through the winter. And then I gave a fun little project you can do with them if you do let them stay up.
If you want to get...
And now you have to watch the show to know what I'm talking... Oh, I guess you'll be listening to it in a moment.
Yes. Soon. If you want to get down into it, I feel like it varies by the different species of hydrangea for me.
Yes.
And I definitely like the oak leaf hydrangea blooms left on, but that doesn't mean that I like the Annabelle hydrangea blooms left on. I think they look a bit crusty.
I do know what you mean. I leave my panicles on and my oak leaf. Those are the two that stay.
Yes.
Well, mine are getting ready to be cut off soon.
Well, is it time to cut ourselves off from talking?
Maybe. I don't know how long we've been doing this.
We've been going for a while, Tyler.
We probably should.
All I want to say is before we get into it, I haven't really given anybody updates about my eucalyptus, my hardy eucalyptus that survived the winter.
Outside.
Super surprised by that. What were they called, Caroline?
Glacier.
Glacier. I keep saying like Arctic freeze or something. Was this like a
Arctic
Gatorade variety? No. So it's called Glacier. Yeah. That thing is now 3.5 feet tall.
Oh.
Nice. And you're just going to keep it outside in a pot?
In the ground.
Oh, you planted it in the ground. It's in the ground
planted
over the
in the ground over winter.
Okay.
And I've been so surprised.
That's awesome.
They rarely come across our order forms when we haven't had them this year.
And I'm not trying to advertise, but I am like, yo, what's up? Because I went to the Biltmore a couple years ago, and they had a huge, I want to say 6 or 8 foot eucalyptus growing in one of their gardens near the conservatory. And I was like, man, look at that thing. I can't believe they're growing it out here. And I'm sure they probably like dig it up and bring it in or whatever to their greenhouses.
Well, I tried to do that once and it died within a day.
So here's to hoping I get a second winter out of it.
And here's to plant surprises. Don't you love them?
Our episode is loaded with them too. How'd you like that tie-in?
Yeah.
That was great. But let's dive on in. As always, you'll hear us, Tyler's Radio, and Josh Carey and David Bates.
Y'all enjoy.
What's on your barometer? It looks like we look like a nursery again here at Bates Nursery, correct?
Yeah.
Dude, it's so exciting. Plants are coming in. Hot.
Yeah, we had a lot of trucks this week. Unloading fresh stuff. Y'all, we got fresh stuff. I mean, we still have the older stuff. Nothing wrong with that.
It still looks great.
Still looks great.
But fresh stuff is always just so exciting.
Yeah, and like we look full again, even though we're still not necessarily full. There's gaps here and there, but we look full and we look good.
Oh, we look
saying it, we
great.
look good.
I'd say better than good.
And for August,
I'd say amazing.
we're doing all right, y'all.
We are.
And what about this weather this morning for August?
I
was
had
cold.
a jacket on. When
I
we
had
walked
the
in.
heat on.
Josh pointed. What?
Yeah, I turned my heat on in my truck. Window down, my favorite. Window down, heat on my legs. Nothing better on
There
a
you
cool
go.
morning.
I feel like it wasn't that cold.
It was great. I
It
loved
was. It was. I was wearing a quilted coat,
I
jacket.
saw that. Yeah, you had a massive jacket on. You were
It
talking to me
wasn't-
about heat.
I was cozy. Had a big hood. But it's really nice. It's cooling off just a little bit this week, so I'm going to finally get out in my garden again.
And pull some weeds. That's boy, it's on the
Stare at them
agenda.
because I hate them.
I know.
Yeah, weed
Interesting how the
pulling.
change in temperatures affects each of us a little differently. Austin needs warmer legs, and Caroline needs
Warmer
more
arms.
warmth on the upper part of the body. So that's
Yeah.
we just roll the way we roll.
That's right.
So I'm convinced that there are a lot of folks who are curious about this. That got to be feeling that fall preemptive kind of a thing. It's really nice. And there's just no reason to not be getting out and digging in the dirt. So I'm
Nope.
certain that we've got a lot to discuss with regards to that.
We do. We've got quite a few questions, so let's go ahead and get in, unless anyone else has anything to say. I know Tyler's excited about pumpkin spice season.
I literally was just about to say that. Like, Tyler felt this weather in the 60s, and he's like, okay, it's fall time now. Where's my sweater and pumpkin spice?
And I do have to know,
Pumpkin
did you
spice
stop
season
for
is
that?
August 31st onward.
So we're
not
wait,
quite there.
Okay.
Almost
I was
there.
like, what is the date today?
Real American football starts today in Nashville, Tennessee, too, by
Okay.
the way.
It's another sign of fall.
So not
Yeah.
quite pumpkin spice, though.
Not quite.
But you
quite,
know
Tyler.
what? Plant time, though.
Yeah.
So let's dive on in. Let's start with boxwoods, y'all.
Let's do it.
Something
Hey,
that you
I'm
know.
always up for it.
My boxwoods aren't looking great. When is the best time to prune?
When is it, Josh?
3:30.
Yes, it is.
Not necessarily with boxwood, Josh.
No.
Okay, so look,
Oh.
if you want to do some light pruning right now, you certainly can. Okay, just getting rid of some wild hairs, tidying it up a little bit, you can do that. Don't do any like major heavy pruning though right now, because you're gonna have to live with the rest of those cuts for the rest of the winter time. I mean, it's gonna look like that. Whatever you cut, it's gonna look like that pretty much until the spring flush. So I'm a big proponent of like a mid-February prune on boxwoods to get them back in check where you want them, and then whenever typically the start of April roughly comes along, then they'll flush and they'll look really nice.
So our next question, I feel like we got into a little bit of a debate last year about this. So it's
that?
coming back around.
Oh, gosh.
Hydrangeas.
Oh, yeah.
Do I need to cut off the old blooms? I say no. Well, you never need to, but I
No.
leave mine because I like how it looks. You, on the other hand,
No, I can't stand it. Me and Josh are in the same boat on this one.
and me and David are in the same boat. We don't know what boat Tyler's in, but it's live.
Tyler,
I'm in the live boat. Yeah.
go Tyler Cam and tell us.
I leave them on.
Okay.
It's okay.
You leave them on your oak leaf, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's
Just let them get brown and crispy.
5 hosts on Gardening Inside Out leave hydrangea flowers on.
on. I really like the look of them as they, dry out and then sit there when they have snow on them. Oh my gosh, so
Well,
cute.
if you have a severely wet season, it can be problematic because they can rot and get funky looking. But if you're not having that, leaving them on, they really have a wonderful, persistent look to them. I don't think there's a downside to leaving them on. So.
No, it's not bad for it. And one thing that I discovered this spring, so yeah, a couple months ago, if you leave them up and they get really dry, they're really fun to light on fire.
Oh,
Oh, yes.
That is true. I've done that.
Then it just
Oh.
burns. It's like a flash. It burns really, really fast, and then it's gone.
oh,
So,
if you toilet papered their yard across the street, that's got that. Oh, yeah. Okay.
why would you toilet paper your neighbor's yard across the street?
That's
That's going to
quite
make
the
it
jump.
even worse.
Well, what
Josh.
you do is that's the best way to get rid of the toilet paper out of the trees is to set it on fire, isn't it, David?
Are you going to set your trees on fire?
No, not my trees. I'm not
I
going to
have
Your
toilet
firsthand
paper.
knowledge of that, Josh, because I have never done that.
Uh-huh.
Oh, never rolled a house before.
Right.
Neither have I.
have spent 8 days in Vanderbilt Burn Center, so
that's
there's
Oh.
that.
There's that.
That's not
I
fun.
have no burning experience, but it's been a while.
Or a little poof. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be.
Well, I have learned so much.
So much right now. But yeah, if you leave those blooms up, I cut mine off first just so I don't burn my plant down on accident, even though I don't think that would happen. But it's fun. I actually stuck them in a
Great
row
tinder. I
in my
could see
yard
it.
and just set them all on fire one time. It was great to see. I think I got a video. Maybe I'll bring it up next week. All right, speaking of dead stuff that's, spent, someone asked, best way to dispose of piles of earth, grass, and dead shrubs.
Well,
I park by the street in Smyrna because they pick them up and take them away.
I do not have that.
I don't either, but we've got the woods. I mean,
We've got the woods.
I just throw my stuff
I pile
in the
my
woods.
stuff up. I've got a brush pile.
I think there's also too those in some areas you have to put them in those brown bags, right?
Yes.
And then put those out by the road.
Leaves, if you and again in the 37167, you put leaves in a biodegradable bag. But if you've got limbs and stuff without roots, by the way, they'll tell you don't put any roots out there. They don't really like the dirt, but limbs and garden waste, yeah.
One of the things that I think is a good product, they are home version of these, grinders.
Mm-hmm.
We can allow you to grind small brush and that kind of thing up. And if you're into composting, it's really worth having one of those because you can reduce the, the lignin rich, and that's all the stems and all from shrubs and that small branches. You can grind that up into a smaller particulate size, and then it breaks down a lot faster. So.
Great Mother's Day gift.
I have been wanting one of those.
Shred it.
Forgot about that.
Yeah.
A shredder. Hey, Kathy on the Bates Facebook page.
Hey, Kathy.
Hey, Kathy. Good morning.
Good morning.
Says, I leave them on also. So we've got one vote for leaving up those blooms. Austin looks a little annoyed.
I'm not annoyed.
You gave me a look.
You,
He
boo.
gave me a look.
Just not tidy enough for
There's
one.
just,
He is a tidy
some plants you
gardener.
want to snip the blooms. Hydrangeas to me, no.
I actually still have my incredible blooms still on the plant, okay?
What?
I have not cut mine off yet.
How do they look?
Well, they still look pretty good. They're not in that total brown phase yet. They're still working through their stuff, They're
They're
going
working through their
it.
feelings,
They
Well,
are.
it does. It makes me sad to see them on there. I mean, and honestly, it's just kind of.
What? It makes you sad to see them
Well,
in
I
there?
mean, they look dead.
That's what a lot of people say. Yeah. They'll say, I mean, I get that question a lot from guests. They'll come in and they'll be like, my hydrangeas are dead. What did I do wrong? And I look at them and it's just the blooms that are
Right.
dead, not the
I
leaves.
love a sleeping dormant garden. I love it when they start to go to bed for the winter.
I
I'm a
like
fan
that
of it.
too, but that's leaves and everything.
Yeah, but the blooms
Not
go
just the
first.
blooms.
We found
Beauty
the next
doesn't
great
last
debate.
forever, as we all know.
Yeah. Well, everyone else, let us know. You cut them, you leave them. Let us know.
We'll put a poll up a little bit later on our
Just the things
Instagram.
You hope for spring.
Yes.
To let you know that there's something forthcoming. So, I'm in favor of not cutting them off before you need to cut them off.
Yeah.
And you don't need to cut them off that early. So
Yeah. All right.
everybody does what they want to do.
Let's go to our next question.
Your yard, man. You do what you want to.
That's right.
Outdoor potted plant that doesn't need to come inside during the winter. Yeah, so many.
So many.
I mean, my favorite that I talk about all the time is Japanese plum yew. That's my go-to outdoor shade potted plant.
Yeah, you love that plant. And it does kind of depend on if you have shade or sun. We kind of would like to know that first. But there's a ton of evergreen shrubs for the shade and for the sun that can literally live in pots.
What would
y'all.
you do?
Well, you know what I would do?
Boxwood.
Yes, I do boxwood.
Duh, Caroline.
I ain't got to water boxwood hardly at all through the wintertime.
I feel like you'd have to through the wintertime, yeah.
Yeah, no, not right now. I mean, I'm waiting a little while, but then once I get it in the, I'm a big proponent. If I was fancy, which I am, but if I had enough money, I would go with a very
You're
fancy,
so fancy.
topiary boxwood, maybe a 3-ball scenario, and then I'd underplant it
With white petunias.
with pansies.
White pansy.
over the wintertime.
Well,
Got to remember, we're going into the pansy season.
that's true.
But I'd probably do white and...
You need to level up your fanciness and get there.
I'm not there yet. It's August. It's early August. Okay.
No, I'm saying you need to get those boxwoods in some pots.
Well, help me out. Go halvesies.
No, absolutely not.
I ain't got no money for a 3-ball boxwood.
I got too many
God, they're
plants I want.
fancy and expensive. I love them. I love them.
All right,
gosh.
somebody help Austin. Get him some fancy stuff.
Yeah, all y'all. Make another poll for people that can give money.
Maybe Austin should have a Boxwood Patreon page.
Oh, that's a great idea. And for certain amounts donated, they get something. Next question. How do I get rid of common ivy? I swear it comes from under the house. Am
No
I stuck with
kidding.
it forever? Probably.
Unfortunately, yeah, you're stuck with
So
it. I
sorry.
mean, it does. I mean, it'll go under the ground. It'll pop up in the cracks of places. Like, it gets everywhere, man. Like, there's not a great way to deal with it besides literally hand pulling, excavating it, Hire
Slow
somebody to come out with a
disease,
machine or something. If you can get a machine in there, a skid steer or whatever, get in there and like really get it deep, you can probably get rid of it. But the problem is a lot of times it's close to your home or up underneath a little tree or something, like it's just a tough plant to get rid of. Now, what you could do is just embrace it. Just embrace it.
It's
I mean,
gonna eat
control it.
Yeah.
Try to keep it controlled, but let it do what it does,
Give it
which
a
is
patch.
covers the earth. Hey, it keeps weeds from coming in.
That's a good point.
I mean, my mother-in-law has ivy at her house up underneath a tree and around a bed, and she does. She pulls it a lot. Don't get me wrong. Her husband, my father-in-law, weed eat it on the edges to keep it at bay. But there is no weeds in that bed. It is a mass of green ivy, which honestly,
Probably
hey,
pretty.
It's pretty.
It's very pretty.
Is it growing up the tree?
It does grow up the tree. She has to pull it off.
Yeah.
Of it. I mean, it's work. Gardening's work. It depends on how tidy you want to be, but it's work.
Suggestions for trees that have shallow root systems that can be planted close to my home.
The number one that comes to mind right off the rip is arborvitae. I mean, it's an evergreen, emerald green arborvitae, one of our best-selling plants. It's to me overused a little bit, but honestly, it's got a very shallow root system. It does not get crazy tall. It stays thin, and it can be planted on the corner of a home, just easy. So I mean, like I said, when you said shallow root system, my brain immediately went to arborvitae. Now, if you're going to do this, and especially if you're going to do it now, do know a shallow root system means they don't seek their own water very well. So you really got to water for those typically first 2 to even 3 seasons and then even if it's 7 to 10 years old, if we have some sort of period of drought that's not good, like you have to water even in a very established arborvitae. So just know that with a shallower root system, you're going to have to do that more.
It's never a bad time of year to add Earth Mix to your garden. Earth Mix garden products are sustainably sourced, living soils and amendments crafted to give you the best success for your gardening efforts. Establishing a raised bed? Use Garden Premium Topsoil Blend for an excellent performing growing medium for flowers and vegetables. Amend your gardens with their supernatural compost, with all the nutrients needed to recharge existing soils. For houseplants, their Proganics Indoor Grow Mix is a fantastic potting medium that will feed for up to 6 months without the need for additional fertilizer. Earth Mix is sold only at independent garden centers, so head over to earthmix.net/find earthmix to locate one near you. Success begins at the ground level when you use Earth Mix garden products.
I need to get some Earth Mix.
You do. Why would you need Earth Mix?
Well, why
Other than
wouldn't
the
I?
reasons David talked about.
Yeah.
But are you going to be planting some flowers that are
Put
colorful?
boxwoods and
things
some
that are-
white pansies.
Yeah. Oh, so you're finally doing your fancy.
I'll be doing my mix
Sophia.
container soon. Yes, I am.
But what I'm talking about is what's going on everywhere.
What's in bloom? With Austin.
All right, y'all, here we go.
It's
I'm going to
happening.
start with some annuals, and specifically some annuals that love the hot August weather, okay? You know what's beautiful right now? I was getting to that, but no, not first. Celosia, y'all, celosia. Pretty much a perennial. Like, comes back from seed every year. The red leaf one with the red blooms atop. Money right now. Vinca just loves it. Just loves it. Like Caroline said, Lantana loves this hot weather going off. If you got some shade, begonias, they love the heat. They don't love the sun all much, like all day, but they surely love the heat. Hey, shout out to the Florida people who grow pentas like crazy. The hummingbirds, y'all. Hummingbird season is upon us, and they love pentas. Check those out. All right, moving on. Perennials, Coreopsis still going crazy. Saw a picture just the other day of those. Your black-eyed Susan still going.
Thank you.
Phlox is barely holding on, but it's still doing its thing. The coneflowers all still out there. We did a mixed plethora of coneflowers. Caroline will tell you all about that here in a little while. Blanket flower, that nasty little plant I don't really like.
I love
I know.
it.
You
You
don't
called
want
it
it-
nasty.
You wanted to bring some in here yesterday, and I was
You
like,
hurt
nah.
its feelings.
Well, one thing we did bring in here today, though, is the old Stokesia. Something you love, Stokes aster as a common name. And yeah, that's a pretty plant.
It's
I
not
might
really
need
blooming right
some
now.
of that in my life. Okay. Shady stuff. The hostas are blooming, and the turtle heads are still blooming. Caroline, thank you for that, because I forgot about turtle heads. Still going,
are welcome.
still looking good. Canna lilies, they're still throwing blooms. My gosh, that's been forever. Hey, this is random, but ageratum. What you know about ageratum? That's that little blue flower. We sell it as an annual in the spring, but it's also kind of a wild weed around here.
Yes, I know which one you're talking
It's that
about.
really soft blue. People call it blue mist flower.
Yep.
Oh, the blue mist. Hey, Tyler, get ready for that and throw it up on the screen.
Oh, no.
Who is this again?
Emily Boyd.
Emily Boyd.
Hey.
Emily, what is up with you? I see what you're doing. You're growing like, only the best vine on the planet. Tyler.
A crossfire?
There it is.
Wow, look
You're
at that
from
bloom.
Mattis.
Okay, that is stunning.
Told you, I grow the same one at the house, and yeah, it's still blooming. Emily, good work. I'm proud of you for doing that. Thank you for the picture.
This.
Oh, yes. What a great
Yeah,
pic.
that's
Beautiful
gorgeous.
color. Beautiful color. Okay. It's still hydrangea season, specifically the paniculatas, y'all. Hey, big white blooms. They're flopping a little, but not that bad, really.
Nope.
It's been pretty good, actually. We haven't had rain all week, so they're standing up tall. Oh, Limelight being the most popular. Still going.
Oh, mine are
Pure.
gorgeous right now.
Most of the rest of them are pretty well done, but hey, paniculatas still going. Bridge, your grass is still swaying in the breeze. We even brought some in here. Bridge, love you.
My blue stems are about to bloom. They're so close and they look
Okay.
great.
That good native. Bridge would love you for that.
Oh, she would, and she does.
She does. Okay. Let's go to them trees, y'all. Crepe myrtle season still upon us. Still going great. You know it. Rosa Sharon, the hibiscus, still going. Mimosas. Mimosas are funny. It's like some of them are done and then some of them are full show.
Yep.
I don't know. They're weird, but whatever. Those are the trees.
they're
That's all
great.
I got for trees right now. Hey, the natives. Shout out again, Bridge. You love your natives too. Goldenrod just happened this week. The yellow, looking good, getting tall. Ironweed, the purple. Joe Pie weed.
There you go.
And milkweed still throwing. I saw some orange out in the field the other day. Couldn't even believe it. I'm like, dang, milkweed. You're
Mine's going
awesome.
strong.
Hey, surprise. You're surprised Lily's still going off. Those are still that soft pink and beautiful. Morning Glory. Still see some of that going on.
Gross.
Nightshade. My daughter picked a nightshade bloom. I don't know what, I just call it nightshade. It kind of looks like eggplant, but it blooms like a moonflower at
I
night.
know what you're talking about.
Yes, everybody knows the old nightshade. It's got thorns on it. That's still going off. And last but not least, hyacinth bean. Hey, what about an annual vine that looks awesome? Tyler, get ready for the button because we're done. Do it, Tyler. There.
What? That was amazing.
There you go. That's what's in bloom. Thanks for
Pedal
my
Fairy
spot.
left you. Wow.
Wow.
I am impressed. All over my laptop. But
Yeah.
totally worth it.
All in your coffee, I think. I even made
No,
it.
you missed
Good.
my coffee.
Good,
Thank
good.
you for
Wow.
having such a good aim that you did
Yes.
not get it in my drink.
Yeah.
That
There
was
you
great.
go. All right, cool.
And that clematis photo
Very
was
cool.
amazing.
Very nice.
That was gorgeous.
Yes, it
So,
was.
who was that? Emily
Emily.
Boyd?
Emily Boyd.
Emily Boy.
Good work, Emily Boyd.
Thanks for emailing that. You can email us all kinds of stuff, y'all.
At
Where do we
Gardening
send it?
Inside Out.
At gmail.com.
gmail.com.
Here it is.
Name of the show at gmail.com.
And you know, whenever I talk to guests that come out and that actually watch us on the show, and thank you all for this so much. Without your questions and you listening, we wouldn't be able to do it. And we have fun out here. But one of the biggest things they ask for is that, like, we want more pictures. So look, y'all, if you've got pretty pictures of your yard, pretty hydrangeas, pretty trees, whatever you got, send them in. We'll probably feature them.
Given that the photographs are largely of your landscape, we strongly recommend that you take the photographs in landscape perspective. That means it's wide and not tall, not
Sideways.
portrait.
Sideways, not.
And it does a lot better on our program
Yes.
because although the quality of the photograph was really nice on the clematis that was shown, it was in a portrait mode, so it had to be cropped down, so it can get a little bit grainy. So we get a lot better view if you can send them in landscape mode for your landscape.
For your landscape.
Makes sense. I didn't even know there was a landscape mode. That's
Well,
what
it's just turning your phone.
Oh,
to the
that's
side.
what. Okay. I thought I had to click a button, and I'm like, I've never seen
For
that button.
plants and landscaping.
Okay,
Here we
got
go.
it. All right.
Yep. That's what I did.
You
So-
just turn your hat around backwards, awesome landscape mode.
Okay,
Let's
that's how
go.
it works. I get it now.
Okay.
Thanks, Tyler.
Oh, that got
No
me.
problem.
Tyler helps me with all my tech stuff.
He does, like opening your email and such.
Stop.
All right, we got some live questions in this morning.
Goodness.
First one comes from Kelly. Good morning. Will Edgeworthia tolerate shade once it's established? I would love to add this to my garden, and I see that there are 2 available on the Bates website, which looks amazing. We do have a new website that was revealed just a couple days ago. It's very user-friendly, very gorgeous. Good work, Tyler, Paula,
David, yeah.
Rachel, Mary,
Mary,
everybody.
We'll talk about it in the Bates segment later. Can't
working
wait.
behind the the scenes. But I would say, yes, I have an Edgeworthia that I planted in the shade this spring, and mine's doing great. And I think I talked about it last week. We had a question about this plant. I had set it in a spot to see if it would do well, and that spot was getting not a ton of direct sunlight, but enough to make the plant stressed. And once I put it on the north side of my house, which does not get any direct sun, it took off, and the leaves are a lot bigger and more green and healthier. So I would say it'd be fine.
Oh, it's a classic understory plant. I mean, it really is. So yeah, totally fine with some shade. I would say it's like a lot of things though. Like I talked to a grower at a Maple Valley down in Alabama, and we had talked about azaleas, and he grows his deciduous azaleas in full sun. But he told me this. He said, "Look, I grow them in full sun because I like them better there." He said, "But they are thirsty when they're in full sun." So I think Edgeworthia would probably be similar if you got it in a spot that was a little bit too sunny, and it would probably be a lot thirstier. In the shade, it'll probably just be less stressed out and just kind of chilling.
Just do its thing. Yeah. I'm a big fan
I
of
say
that
go
plant.
for it though. Edgeworthia is cool.
It's a very cool plant that you don't see really often, and it blooms so early. It's kind of like the hellebore of the shrubs.
Yeah, it smells
bloomer.
fantastic.
Yes.
Oh,
Cute
so
little
good.
clusters. And then Joyce, coming back around to our hydrangea discussion that we had this morning, says, leave them, squirrels use them for bedding. Cute.
I ain't trying to give those squirrels a bed.
I am. I would love to give all the squirrels a bed.
Aw, them
And that is a
squirrels are
good
annoying
point.
me.
I leave up all of my spent flower blooms. I wait to cut everything back because those little birds
Birdies,
want those, eat stuff in the winter, and then, what were you going to say? Insects make it a home.
Why do we want to
Better
harbor
bedding for
insects
squirrels.
in squirrels? Yo, birds are one thing. I get it. Birds are cool. Okay, squirrels, no.
Tree
They're not
rats.
going to come out and
Tree rats
Yeah,
they
they're going
are.
to come steal my tomatoes, and then I'm going to
Yes.
provide them with a bed.
Maybe
No.
they wouldn't steal your stuff if you did provide them with a bed.
No.
Maybe they'd be like, thank you, we'll protect your garden.
Negative.
No.
And I beg to differ.
Squirrel beds. Them squirrels are getting my tomatoes this year, y'all. Oh,
They're not getting mine.
Stink bugs
Probably
are getting
because I
mine.
gave them beds.
I don't like stink bugs.
nobody
No,
does, Josh.
gosh almighty, they're
Especially when they start to come in your home in the wintertime. Yuck.
I will say, other than my cucumbers, which was not a critter that took those, I've only lost one tomato to a critter this year. Everything else is doing just fine. It's probably because I left my hydrangea blooms up.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's what it was.
You're the winner
You gave your squirrels
to house
beds.
little creatures. All right, let's get off this topic. It's getting
Okay.
too heated. Jill asks, how long can boxwood stay in planter pots?
Jill forever. Forever and ever, amen.
Jill for, all right, Randy Travis.
Yeah.
Bringing it back around.
No, but honestly, seriously, for a long time. I mean, if you kind of replenish every spring with some good nutrients, some supernatural compost on top, never hurts. And then, don't keep them too wet. That's the biggest killer of boxwoods. If you start to, you've had them for a while and they start to just get that off color and they're kind of that yellowish-ish color, like that's a sign of overwatering typically. So as long as you're good about that, then boxwoods can stay in a pot for a very long time. Their roots
here's
are not
one-
like crazy.
Here's one caveat to that, Austin. I will, just for a moment of clarification, as a general watering practice, what you're saying is correct. However, because they're in pots and they're in an above ground situation, and Josh, I don't know if you've got any in pots at your house or not, but whether it's boxwood or other things,
Oh, yeah.
just prior to severe cold weather, and this is the most counterintuitive thing in gardening, you must go out there and thoroughly soak them. And what the issue is that you're trying to fill the pore space that's in the soil with water. And that makes it much more insulated so that you are more resistant to the ravages of cold weather. But that's not to say you need to keep them that way all the time. It's only in the time just preceding and immediately following severe type of freeze. So what Austin said is correct, but what I'm also suggesting is correct. And if you want to make sure they last throughout the year, you need to be mindful that there could be a little bit of extra action you need to take during these severe cold spells. So just think about that. Your root system is totally above ground. You're going to lose effectively 2 plant hardiness zones. So if it's a zone 5 plant, which a lot of cultivars or boxwoods could be, you could be susceptible to freeze damage in a zone 7 environment, which is where we are. So just be mindful of that.
Yeah, I'm going to have to take care of the Isley Brothers band that I put in
Mine are doing great. You have the whipcords, right?
Yeah, I got whipcords.
I've got 2 whipcords, and those are loving being in pots.
Yes, they are.
I put a Mugo pine in a pot last fall and 2 whipcords, and the Mugo pine died at the end of winter, made it all the way through the end, and then just bit the dust.
Mm-hmm.
But my whipcords are looking great.
it.
They're not stressed at all. Can't wait to see what they're going to look like in 5 years if they make it. All right, we've got a question from Lynn on YouTube.
Yep.
It says, good morning. Thanks for this educational live show. I have a question for the panel. How can I prevent my neighbor's stray cats from using my lawn as their litter box? That's a good question because I don't know the answer.
Gosh, what do you do with cats? Like, they do what they want.
Well, are we in the grass or are we in the garden beds? That's the question.
about to
Probably in
say.
the garden bed.
Probably in the garden beds. Now, they have been known to not like having little sharp things on their feet. So if you take plastic forks, I've seen those used and put them around there.
It looks so great in the
Yeah, they're
garden.
gorgeous
also.
too. You can get the black ones or the white ones and maybe the red ones and let them go. The clear ones are okay.
I would take a spray bottle with
Yes.
with a well diluted ammonia and put it on a straight stream. It's hide behind something. When they come in there, just give them a shot.
Well, and paintball guns are good.
People
BB
try
guns.
to break their habit, and maybe they'll go elsewhere. But it comes down to it's not the cat's fault.
No.
It's the owner who is failing to monitor where their cat's going. And I love it when people walk by the house with their dog on a leash and allow them to go up into the yard far enough, urinate on a boxwood.
Oh yeah,
That's great.
You mean the dogwoods?
They've
Austin's
got them
mad
where they
about
cook
that.
it, and we put little signs out there, and people don't read signs.
Not at all.
Signs everywhere is a sign.
No,
I would probably.
it's an ongoing issue. There are repellents that do a good job, but every time it rains, you have to reapply.
Right, predator urines, but and you just got to kind of deter them. You squirt them, and just make them, because cats are going to look at you and go, "Come on, man!"
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you kidding?
They don't care.
You're not going to be out
They're
there
gonna do whatever they
3 o'clock
want.
in the morning.
Cats.
So that is a tricky
love
one. I
cats.
think that's what I do too. My cats they came from here and they are great and amazing.
Where here?
From Bates Nursery and Garden Center.
Oh!
What? Yep, they did. They're nursery cats.
They're not for sale.
They
though.
weren't plants. I did not buy them on the lot.
No.
Unfortunately. Well, why would we be selling
They're
plants?
quite
Why did I say that?
Quite perennial, though.
They are. They
Yes.
come back every year. Hmm.
Some say there ain't no cure for the summertime blues. But we say Bates Nursery is. Located in Nashville, Tennessee, Bates Nursery and Garden Center is a separate world unto itself. They feature the widest variety of plants, including trees, shrubs, native plants, perennials, houseplants, and specimen evergreens. Their knowledgeable staff will assist you with any gardening needs, catering to any experience level. Open year-round, and Caroline, tell them how to get here.
Bates Nursery is located minutes from downtown Nashville off Briley Parkway, exit 19 in beautiful Whites Creek, Tennessee. You'll see it's worth the drive from anywhere. No time to visit the nursery? Shop online with delivery and pickup options available for the greater Middle Tennessee area at www.batesnursery.com.
So if you want to learn a lot about living and a little about love, visit Bates Nursery and Garden Center, beautifying Nashville since 1932.
Colin did say, first time growing milkweed. What are all the little reddish bugs on my milkweed? Also, there's tons of yellow dots on it. Are these eggs?
I need to see them, but I want to say that's a host for box elder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that
I
on
think-
mine every year.
They also have an aphid, don't they?
Yeah, it's an aphid.
Mine's an
Sounds
aphid
like
that
an
I get
aphid.
on mine.
Well, that's usually yellow, though, right?
The eggs are yellow,
Okay.
which he said, I think. He said yellow dots on it.
Tons of yellow dots.
That might be the
eggs.
the oleander aphid specifically is that bright yellow aphid that loves milkweed. That might be what's going on. Call, send us some pics, man. Come on, call.
Send some photos. Colin is on fire today, and Colin also says you got to pay the squirrel tax one
Yeah,
way or
buddy.
another, and I pay with squirrel beds.
I pay with tomatoes, apparently.
Squirrel beds and tomatoes, Tyler. They're
And the plum tax.
really
Figs too.
and the
right,
blueberry
Evan?
tax.
coming at you. And then we do have a couple comments about going back to the cat using their their neighbor's lawn is a litter box. Stephanie said cats avoid citrus as well. Citrus pills thrown down will be a deterrent, which is great. And then Joyce says, buy a litter box and put it in your neighbor's yard.
Yeah.
Kind of a good idea.
Now, again, there's another thing that would occur to us: a humane trap. You catch him, and then you take him and you put him back on his porch, and then you just remind him that, there's not a leash law, but you can call the man.
No.
Yeah.
Stop.
Hey.
Don't call the man on the cat.
Gotta watch for the neighborly
Call
threats.
Okay.
Yeah. I love cats. All right. So James did say his parents, they live outside Huntsville, Alabama, the lawn that he's talking about. So outside of Huntsville, Alabama, and then back around to James' question about army worms. James says, army worms are attacking my parents' Bermuda grass lawn. What should they do to stop the attack?
I'm going to recommend you seek a turf professional. Now, if you were local here in Middle Tennessee, you could go to see our friends at the Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply people. And particularly up on top of Mount Juliet, don't you think, David? He could go talk to the King of Bermuda and the Prince of Potions, the one, the only
yes.
Drew Sullivan. So, because you're not going to mess around. Find an independent down that takes care of golf courses and that kind of thing, because they will destroy your lawn.
Yeah, but
particularly warm season grasses, and they'll get in there and just they'll do a lot of damage. Well, actually, they're indiscriminate. They'll also hit pretty much everything. So they can be decidedly problematic. That is an area that is very, as you've already mentioned, it's a very specific to a industry. And while that's related to what we do, we don't deal with the day in and day out turf issues.
Right.
And there is always a lot of new products coming into the marketplace that give a greater safety to the user and to the environment, but yet provide sufficient lethality to the pest that you're trying to control. Much of it has to do, if you have an issue with it, is timing.
Right.
So to concur with you, check out the great folks over at Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply.
Some of that stuff may be controlled use that you might need to use. So, I mean, it's heady too.
At least the greater caution being used with it. And so those are things that are very it's an industry specific, and we're not really in the turf industry. So really recommend you go see those folks and talk to them. They've got great information.
Yep.
Awesome. I know we have a photo, so I'm going to give Tyler a little moment to put it up while I go through the rest of the Facebook questions we got. Miriam says, when should my fig be setting fruit?
Miriam.
Mine's starting to set fruit. It's set a lot. It's just not ripe yet.
Mine are covered up.
Yeah. Mine's a good year.
Yeah, we've already taken in some.
Hundreds,
really?
many hundreds on mine. I would say 400 to 500 figs on mine. Now, again, they're slow to develop. When you have a heavy fruit set, it takes them a lot longer to develop and get of size. So you're going to be running right up against frost freezing weather.
Yep.
Yeah, mine are always late to the game because I'm up north. So I
I'll go
see a
ahead and
lot,
get
but
some-
a lot don't
The
ripen.
brown turkeys
I know
are
it's- I know it
amazing
sounds
this
crazy
year.
right now, but get some frost cloth ready because you're going to need that if you're going to try to get them to, you want them to be on that tree as long as possible. And again, the squirrel equation
buddy.
starts back in here because they will fight you for those things the minute they get ripe enough.
Just
They'll bite
perfect.
on it.
Speaking of squirrels, we did get a comment from Susan that says, fed my squirrels peanuts this morning. They leave my garden plants alone that way. And then sent a heart
Embrace
and
them.
a squirrel emoji. I had to get close. All right, so it looks like Tyler has this photo ready. So Donna sent this fantastic photo.
Hey, Donna.
Let's go ahead and get it up. Good morning, Donna.
Hey.
And Donna says, not always, where'd it go? Not always in bloom, but I've lost it. But it looks great. So I see
It's
some
not.
coleus
It's
in
not
there.
always about the blooms. I think
That's
is
what it
she said.
was.
Wow.
That's true. And hey, I think in the back, Tyler, go up for a second. I think she used, is that fine line buckthorn? Did you do it, Donna?
Oh,
you
looks
did.
like it.
I
It
think
does look
is.
like it.
Man,
I
that's
love
beautiful.
That plant for a pot. It is
Feathery.
so wispy. It's almost
It's-
ferny. Oh,
it's
it does.
super cute,
People's
yeah.
biggest problem with it is that it does drop its leaves over the wintertime, so that's not necessarily fun. But
Put some
gosh,
little lights in it. Put some
look at the
twinkle lights
texture
in
of that. Donna, great work buying that plant. Really.
And that
Beautiful.
coleus. That
Beautiful.
coleus is one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Just long coleus, and there's so many choices to choose from, and there's so many different color combinations. It's just a great underutilized plant.
Oh, absolutely.
David,
I think me and Josh both bought that
look at
goth
that little-
coleus, the
Yes.
black one. Mine are shrubs. Oh, she's got some black elephant ear and some secretion
There's
in there, and that
secretion in there?
euphorbia in there.
She packed it tight.
Donna,
Yeah.
that's a tight pot.
You,
Wow.
change, you change the angle and boom, there's more surprises.
I love it.
That is really great.
And a
full
warning,
as can
by the
be.
way, folks, we're coming up towards the end here. So
Josh, I'm sorry I can't get that up.
That's okay. That's
Did you
okay.
send a picture?
I'll show y'all off the air. It's my figs.
Oh,
Oh. All right, we have a dahlia
too late.
question before we run out of time. Dahlias
Okay.
are big, tall, and green, but hardly any flowers this year. Is it the heat? I normally have a lot of blooms.
it's probably not the heat. I mean, dahlia can really be fine in the heat as long as they have plenty of water. That y'all know how they are if you've grown them. It's in the full sun and heat. They're fairly thirsty creatures. You know, I don't know if there's too much nitrogen in the soil. We talk about that each and every week, pretty much. If you have an excess of that, they'll produce a lot of green, but not a lot of blooms. That would be my guess at the moment. But some years are just different than others. You know, like some years they just really heavy bloomers. Some years they're just not all that much. And I don't have a great answer for it.
Well, that's okay. And then Donna did get back about her mixed container. She said that has been in that planter for years.
Wow.
Looking great.
Wow.
Incredible.
Looking fantastic. Donna. And then Joy says, what a lovely morning, sitting on my balcony, sipping coffee, and a hummingbird came to check out the echinacea. I put in a Bates container.
Cool.
Yes.
Amazing. Beautiful.
Great.
Yeah.
They really like the blue pots too. If you have your plants in a blue pot, that really brings in the hummingbirds even more so than
Really?
anything else.
Oh, they love blue.
I've heard that. Yeah.
That color blue of that Stokes aster, they go nuts over it.
I had a little hummingbird fly up to my sliding glass door. I was inside, just hover there right in front of my face for a good, I don't know, it was like 5 seconds, but it seemed like forever. It was great. It was
Cool.
They do that to me
beautiful.
all the time.
All right.
The hummingbirds, they will sit outside in flight outside the window and go, "Hey, you need to refill this."
Yeah, buddy. Yeah. You know why hummingbirds hum,
Very
David?
intelligent little creatures. Hey, we have burned through an hour yet again. How fast was that?
An hour.
Well, it seemed a lot faster.
Well, it seems like an hour, but it's okay. You know why hummingbirds hum, David?
They don't know the word.
There you go. Okay, that's the kind of thing that you get here on Gardening Inside Out once in a while. But hey, folks, we do appreciate you joining us every Saturday morning. Go out to the web pages and the social media sites, like it, share it, tell everybody about it, so we can keep coming to you right here from the green room nursery, the green room here at the nursery, Bates Nursery and Garden Center. Hey, folks, be safe out there. Get out and dig in the dirt because it's going to be a great weekend here, particularly in Middle Tennessee. And we'll see you next Saturday morning right here on Gardening Inside Out TV.
Thank you for tuning into the Gardening Inside Out podcast. If you're looking for more information or more from your hosts, don't forget that we have a live Saturday morning broadcast, 8 a.m. Central Time on YouTube and Facebook. You can also follow us on our Instagram channel. That's @Gardening Inside Out for more posts, reels, and in-depth dives to topics and things we've discussed on the show. If our content resonates with you, consider giving us a follow, like, and subscription on all of our social media pages. See you next time.